everybody, it is Rambling Hour with Lisa. I am late as usual, but what fun is it if I'm on time? It wouldn't be me if I was on time. This shirt is really big and I was sitting on it, so it's one for the warehouse after I'm done wearing it, but it is really cute. It's very pretty, so I'm being a lady, and then it's going to the warehouse. How is everyone today? I hope everyone is well. It is season 3 of the Rambling Hour with Lisa and episode 1. Today is April 25th, so it's almost the end of April, and I don't know what's going on in your world, but spring has sprung, and it's not as warm as I'd like it to be outside, but not this week anyways. But we have had nice weather, and I can still do a lot of gardening, so that's nice. I'm glad it was a good day, Melody, and hi Tina. I've had a good day as well. I had Subway for lunch with Steve, and then we brought some home for the kids, and I got a little bit of time outside gardening, did my workout. Today is like day 250 or something. I know that a couple days ago I looked at it, so it was like 248 in a row, so I think today's day 250. I always say I'm going to look at the calendar so that I know when I do my lives exactly how many days I've worked out, but it's around the 250 in a row mark. I know on Canadian Mother's Day, in May, it'll be 265 for me and 365 for Steve, so it'll be 1 year that he's been working out every day straight for him on Canadian Mother's Day. Hi Erin, and everyone else who's watching that I can't see who it is. So Steve had a workshop yesterday, a feathers workshop, and I set up the background for him. He was on the Mac he was on his laptop. Anyways, I set up the background in the office for him to do his workshop. So I figured, why not do it in here? Because, the background's already set up. Oh, I put a feather there because of feathers, but whatever, I didn't change anything. These 3 plants actually sit together on the windowsill. They're like the pots, there's 3 pots, and they go on this like really heavy base for it, and they're like herb pots that you're supposed to have in your kitchen, but I don't grow any herbs in the kitchen, so they sit on the windowsill in the office. Thank you. And so I hope everybody's doing well. I don't have a guest today, so you guys are just going to have to listen to me rambling. During the week, I listen to podcasts, as you guys probably know, because I probably tell you every week. And there's some things that, there's one lady I listen to, and after the COVID started, she started doing these, like, story ones, like just a bonus episode on her podcast, and it's just something that's happened in her life, and like they're really inspirational stories, and I'm like, oh, I should start doing that. But then I'm like, well, what will I tell people? What is it in my life that really changed things, or inspired me to be a better person? So I haven't thought of any stories yet, but I might do that in the future. If you guys have anything that you want to know about, let me know. Okay, so I'll explain about my COVID yesterday, because that's something I posted about. I'm over 40. I'm 42 and a half, and it's time for me to get the jab, which is great, and I was going to do it. So I made my appointment for Saturday, 11:30 in the morning. Went there, stood in line, and got in, and I think it was nurses at a lot of the stations, but the row that I got put to was a doctor, and we went over everything, and then he said he just wanted to consult with the other doctor that was on site and see what they were going to do with me, because I have severe allergies to penicillin, erythromycin, Bactrim, and I also a lot of food allergies. So he went and discussed it with the other doctor, and there was the possibility of giving me the shot and just letting me stay there for 15 minutes or so just to see if I have any reaction, but they decided against that, and they decided that they'll just send me to the hospital to get my shot, so that if anything happens, like if I have anaphylaxis from a reaction to anything in the vaccine, that I'm at the hospital and they'll have a crash cart and everything else, so they need to deal with me if that happens. And not only is it a good idea, but I think part of their precaution is because the doctor said that they've already had one anaphylaxis at that location, and to quote him, he said it wasn't good. So I don't mind. It's only going to be a couple more weeks. I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I'm still going to get my jab. I just got to wait a couple weeks and I'll do it at the hospital. Hi, Felicity. My sister Tina says that her daughter Felicity, my niece, is watching. So hello, Felicity. I hope you're well. I hope you're having a good day. She's 3 years old. I've talked about her before on the lives. So what's new with you guys? Tell me what is going on. And Kathy says, so glad they made that call regarding not giving me the vaccine. Yeah, there was part of me, and I told Steve this too when I got home, there was part of me that was kind of like, just give it to me and we'll deal with it, you know, like at least I have it done. And as soon as I told Steve that, he's like, no, you know, and it is better to be safe than sorry, but... And even the doctor said, when I go to the hospital, maybe nothing will happen, but, you know, at least I'm in the place that if something does happen. Melody's eating lunch. I noticed that Melody's added some bird pictures. I'm guessing that she's been bird watching and taking photos of birds when she's walking around the lake that is by her house. And that's really exciting and cool. Kathy says they're in a major lockdown in Ontario, worse than ever, which is not good. I mean, one of the good things about being in the UK is that with the vaccines, they not only like had a bunch on order before they were even, you know, available, they have really rolled out the vaccine process quickly and efficiently. So we have a lot of people who've already been vaccinated here, and yeah, and more, you know, more so every day. So I'm lucky that way that it's being, you know, that already I've been called that I could get my vaccine. So I hope that in Canada, you know, it just keeps going in that direction, that that more people are vaccinated, and that the vaccine will work against some of the variants that have come up lately. So I don't know why people are in a rush to travel. I mean, unless it's for work or something, I'm not in a rush to get anywhere. I'd rather everything be safe and you know, take care of people before I need a holiday or stuff like that. What? And Tina says that Felicity says, hi, Auntie Lisa, I can watch a play today. We ordered a virtual ticket for the musical Paper Bag Princess. Oh, Felicity watched a play today. Did you like the play, Felicity? Was it really good? And Erin says, currently refreshing my oils, looking into what ones I might be out of. Are we talking about essential oils for like health and that kind of stuff, or oil paints? I'm guessing you're talking about essential oils. Do you like putting them in like diffusers, or do you use them on your temples, or do you put them in baths, or all of the above? I'm not sure. Let me know what you do with your oils, Erin. And Tina says we'll watch it later today, but she made a costume for the viewing. That's really good, Tina. When for Christmas, my sister Tina and her husband Ryan and their kids gave our family a virtual play. So it was, instead of being in the theater, we got tickets and we could sign in to the theater, you know, via online, and watch the stage play at our convenience. So we all sat in the living room together and put it on, and it was like A Christmas Carol, and it was from the Calgary Theatre, which is near, I grew up in Edmonton, Alberta, and the only thing is that the Edmonton Theatre, like the one in Edmonton, couldn't do international, so Calgary is the city near Edmonton, and that's where they got it from. And not only did we really enjoy the play, it was a great way to do it, a great safe way to do it, and still get to enjoy the theater. And I love that they do this. I hope they keep that option even after the COVID stuff, because there's so many people who are immobile, or or don't like large crowds, or whatever the reasons are, that they can't get to the theater. But to have the theater experience brought into your own home is wonderful. So the fact that Felicity is dressing up to watch this play later today, and you guys are doing that as a family, not only because Tina's a drama teacher, but it does keep that theater, the arts going, and it's really, I think that's great that you're doing that. And Erin says, yes, essential oils. Oh, and Aaron says, BC just put in the travel restrictions between health regions and provincial. Yeah, I don't know what, I think there is some travel allowed now here, but again, I'm not paying attention to that because I'm not bothered. Yeah, it would be great to travel, and of course, obviously, when traveling is safe and everybody's okay, then I would love for family and friends to be able to come here and for us to see each other, but I'd rather my family and friends stay where they are and be healthy and happy than them risk it just to come and see me or see England. So, and vice versa. So, so my old visa expires on the 29th, and I have everything sitting on my desk. I'm going to post it tomorrow. So tomorrow I put in my visa application and postmark it, so it should be there within 2 days, and then it'll take, who knows, 10 weeks or something to hear back about it. So that is what's happening this week, and hopefully, like I said, it's not going to be really, really hot out, but it's still going to be somewhat nice out. Kathy says we have grounded flights from India now. Yeah, because I think they have a new variant there, don't they? So I think it's quite bad there again, which is weird. Like I said to Steve, I'm like, I would have thought like most of the vulnerable people would have passed away from the first variant. So, yes. Oh, this week. Okay, so there should be some rain in the next few days here, which is really good because I love the sunshine. Don't get me wrong. When I write in my journal every morning, and one of the first things that I write is I am grateful today. I am grateful for, and I write sunshine every day that the sun's shining. But we do need rain as well, especially for my plants, because I don't like going around and watering everything because I don't want to overwater things in dry weather, because I tend to do that. One of the reasons that I've added so many photos of tulips to my gardening albums this year is because, oh, I think I told you guys this already, but I'll just tell you again. Last year I had bought, not last year, so a year and a half ago in the autumn, I bought so many bulbs, and I planted all these pots with all these bulbs so I could have this beautiful spring, display. And everything went good through the winter. In the spring, they started coming up, the tulips, everything was great. And then we had these weeks of really dry weather, and I think I overwatered my tulips and stuff, and my alliums, however you want to pronounce it. And so they were still, leafy, but I never got any blooms from them. And then I had to wait because I wasn't even sure. I didn't want to go through all the pots. I just thought I'll leave them, I'll let them dry out, and we'll see what they're like next spring to see if if I totally killed them and they rotted, or if they'll bloom. So many of those did flower this year, or are flowering this year, but I'm still really unsure of when and if I should water them. So some of them, the tulips, are really short, and I'm like, and they seem stunted, or nothing's happening, and I'm like, did I already water them too much? Or are they really dry? I'm just trying to leave them on their own, because actually when you think about it, like an onion that sits in your kitchen can sit there for so long, and then even when that starts to shrivel, that's when it starts to end up its onion leaves. So yeah, it's better just to be safe than sorry with those, and just leave them. But I am having some really lovely displays at the tulips, but I keep taking so many pictures of them because I'm happy that I didn't kill them from last year. So I need you guys to tell me anything you want to talk about. I'm just gonna have a sip of my drink. Did you guys miss me last week? I'm sorry I took a day off. It was just, I think it was just necessary. I know that me talking for an hour, it doesn't seem like a big deal. I can do it all the time, but it's, I don't know. It's starting to get dark out right now, and today was a bit chilly outside, so I didn't mind as much to come in and do the laundry and make supper and stuff. But when it's really nice out, it's hard to pull myself away from the garden. I am addicted. So, like any addiction, it's hard to pull myself away from it for anything else. But I have to balance my life, so I do have to feed the children and take care of my responsibilities. And I think that even if it's only a few of you, I think that you guys did just say that you missed me. I'd like to believe you're telling the truth, and that this is part of my responsibilities and obligations now too. Even if just one thing I say in a episode changes somebody's life or makes you think of something, then it's worth it. And Melody says I'm entitled to a day off, but the thing is that, like, a day off, I mean, because I make my own hours for my responsibilities, I get to kind of sit down for the most part whenever I want. So, but yes, I hope that my rambling hours, besides having to put up with this voice, that you guys walk away feeling good, feeling inspired, I hope that even coming up to the rambling hours on Sunday, it gives you something to look forward to. Especially if you haven't had the best day, then at least you're like, ooh, I get to see Lisa's pretty face. God had to give me the pretty face, because with this voice, nobody would listen otherwise. So, yeah, I know I watch these back sometimes, and the faces I make, and when I lose my train of thought, or when I don't know what to say. Like I said, I was thinking about telling stories and different inspirations and things. I dream all the time, so I had some kind of weird dreams last night, but yeah, nothing. If there was a message in my dream last night, I'm still not sure exactly what it is, and it's not really one that, like, even if I told you what happened, it doesn't really give any, you know, I don't think it'll help anybody else out, because I don't even know what to take away from it yet. So, but I might start writing these down, and then, like I said, I want the rambling hour to just be, for the most part, unscripted, and just whatever we're going to talk about, whatever comes up. But at the same time, maybe I will have some features, like the thought of the week, or the inspirational story of the week. And it doesn't necessarily have to be something that I experienced. It could be something that you guys tell me that changed your week or changed your life. And my sister Tina says her dream is all about Francis's new baby. Francis is our cousin, and his girlfriend's having a baby. Wait, you had a dream about the baby, but when is Sarah due again? Tina says, Declan would like to know if you have read the book, Danny the Champion of the World by Roald Dahl. No, I haven't. We do have some Roald Dahl books upstairs, but I have not read it. Have you read it, Declan? And if you have read it, did you like it? Oh, and Tina says that Sarah did have the baby, had her, and what is her name? Funny that you say that, because in my dream I was carrying around a little girl, on my hip, and it was actually a friend's they do have a daughter in real life, but in my dream they had a son who was about their daughter's age, about 3 or 4, and then this was like a almost 2-year-old girl that I was carrying around on my hip for them, and they had to go back to their country, which is Iran, sorry. And they had to go back to Iran, but for some reason it was safer if I took their daughter, and I was in Canada with their daughter. So then when we were going back, I was like, well, I got to go back to England. So where will I meet them for them to get their daughter back? But yeah, it's just a weird dream. Yes, so Declan has read the book, and he's still reading it now. And Tina says that Sarah and Francis's daughter's name is Ella Joan. Joan is Francis's mom's name, so baby's named after her grandma. That's very nice. So I will say congratulations to them on here, and I'll make sure to send a congratulations after. And Tina says, but now I am really hoping that was not private still. I thought about that when you said it, Tina, but I mean, there's not a lot of people who watch my lives that I know of. I mean, maybe there is, but I don't know how many of them, you know, I don't know if the news is going to get back to them anyways. And then anybody who's watching my live who doesn't know who they are is, yes, so I'm not sure if it is, but that's okay. Yes, so, what else? Sunday, April 25th. oh, so May 1st is International Naked Gardening Day. So don't forget to get outside and do a little bit of gardening in the nude, even though it might not be warm. It's not going to be really warm here either, but I'll still go out to take a photo. I'm not going to be gardening all day in the nude, but I'll go out to take a photo. So it does come up at the same time every year, so some of the plants in the garden are the same ones each year. It is one of my favorite seasons in the garden right now. When I get the sea of blue of the forget-me-nots, I love it. And then the agwaledias, like the columbines, are starting to flower, and everything's just starting to come like, I love it. I love being out in the garden. Kathy says she loves it, nude gardening. Yeah, well then go, Kathy. It's May 1st. It's international, so it's not just here. And the weather in Ontario is usually better than it is on the prairies, so... And no excuse, I would even take a picture if it was the middle of winter on the prairies. But Steve said he won't do it with me. Even if he was in the best shape of his life and the prime of his life and everything else, he's just not inclined to be naked in public. So, you know, each to their own. I'll do discreet photos, though, so as not to embarrass him and the rest of the family. Especially as I'm getting older. No, your sound is still working. I just stopped talking for a moment. my mom says, not me. She's not going to be doing naked gardening. No, it's not wine. It's actually like, it's like raspberry Pepsi Max. And I bought some cans of it, only 6 of them, but, you know, wanting to try it, and I won't be buying it again. It's not the worst, but it's not really for me. Mind you, I'm not really a Pepsi fan. Anyways, I find it too sweet. I like Coke better. Kathy asks, what part of England am I in? I am in North Central. Like, they would say that we're northern. I'm in between Manchester and Liverpool. So, yeah, I'm a north, I guess the north of England. And no, I still haven't been to London. Besides going to the airport when we went to Canada last, I haven't been to or in London. I will eventually, but I'm not too bothered. Oh, and Kathy says she knows it. Yeah, because I believe that you have been over here. And if I'm not mistaken, were you born here, Kathy? Or your family's from England or something like that? Kathy says been to the north a few times. Well, I'm happy to say that not everybody's watching because my cousin Erin's watching and she hasn't been here yet. But my sister Melody has, Tina has, and my mom has. Oh yes, Kathy's parents are from Ireland. So, also what I've noticed is that I'm getting a little bit, I don't know if you can tell with this lighting, but I'm getting a bit of a tan, and I always feel like I look better, like I look healthier and everything with even just a bit of a tan, and I'm not doing it on purpose. It's just that the sun's been shining and I like being outside. So, but we need to remember to put on sunscreen because I don't want skin cancer, and I don't want to be sunburnt. And so, yeah, it's still important to do that. And then obviously hydrating is important as well. As far as working out, going back to that, I have to do some progress pictures tonight. A lot of people who work out or know these things will know that it's, it's eating is about, working out is about 20%, and your eating habits is about 80% of wanting to lose weight or get into healthy shape. So I've been doing the working out. My muscles are amazing. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but I think I told you guys this, that Samantha told Steve that I made her touch me in places so this is what because I still have quite a bit of chunky on my belly. you can't tell how firm I am and how much I've worked out. So first I say, here, touch this, and then I say, touch this, and then, you know, down here. And so I'm really firm because I'm doing like a lot of the muscle stuff. But for as far as losing the fat, even though you can lose more fat the more muscle you have, I am really watching what I'm eating now. And what I've noticed is that even though I thought I was eating healthy, and I am eating healthy, I was still eating about twice as much as I needed to be eating. And then those emotional eating and eating the snacks that, you know, like, so yesterday I had a bad day with the snacks because I was having a bit of an off day. And so with emotional eating, feeling sorry for myself, I ate a whole packet of, like, it's 10 biscuits. It's called Maltesers, but it's like mint Maltesers. They're like, the biscuits are like that, and they are like a biscuit, and then they have like chocolate mint flavor, like coating. They're really good, but I ate the whole pack. And then I had some honey roasted peanuts, which isn't the worst thing, but still with the honey on it, they're not the best thing either. And then depending on how many you eat. So I'm still working on it, but that's where I'm at now, is really watching what I'm eating, because as much I've been working out, like I said, for 250 days, and I haven't lost any weight. And absolutely my body's changed. But why haven't I lost any weight? And Steve's at a standstill with his weight loss as well. So both of us, Steve too, but I'll let him talk about his stuff. But we're both really concentrating on how much we eat, what we're eating, really keeping track of it, and the carbs and the protein and such. So, oh yeah. Okay, so yes, wear sunblock. Wow. Excellent, Kathy said. Melody said Harry Pitts. Kathy said, oh, yummy, but I know she's talking about, not my Harry Pitts, she's talking about the biscuits. And then Kathy said, oops. Tina said, which I find eating for dopamine has been so much worse with COVID. And Melody says, nice muscles. Yeah, I do have Harry Pitts. I know, well, okay, I'll explain that in a second. Steve teases me about that too, and then I tell him I'll shave mine when he shaves his, because I think it's gross in men's armpits too. But what it is that we share a shower. Like, it's just, we have one shower upstairs. Well, no, Thomas has one in his room, but that's his. And then we have the main shower, and that we all use. And I have this thing about sharing. I don't want anybody to use my razor, my blade. So I don't mind the handles. I can share the handles, but my blade, I take it to my room. If it was my own shower and my stuff was always there, then I would do that stuff, my armpits and my legs, more regularly. But when I have to remember to bring it from the room, I forget. So yeah, but I'm not bothered. Tina, dopamine. So yes, is that the happy, like endorphins, like where it makes you, that's what dopamine is, right? It's to make you. So what do you eat to increase your dopamine levels? What do you find works to make you happier when you eat? I'm an emotional eater. I'll just eat like I said, I sabotage myself because it was me feeling sorry for myself and just wanting the good taste of it. But then, you know, and it's like when I put in my friend Samantha, we've talked about Samantha before, and she's doing like RHwL Life, and I love the group that I'm in. It's called the Healthy Happy Souls, which is perfect for my life, Healthy Happy Souls. And she is my coach, so I'm supporting her in this, and like, if I'm going to do the eating anyways, why not support her in her journey and let her coach me? So we put in our journals every day, our diary, our food diary, and even if I lied on my diary, then I'm only cheating myself, and they can't give me proper feedback about what I'm eating or my levels or whatever if I'm not honest with them. But it makes me accountable as well. So and yeah, that's where I learned that. So not only do I have an overall amount of carbs and protein that I need to eat in a day, but shouldn't go over as well, but they break it into meals as well. So each meal, and then snacking every 2.5 hours, and so many carbs and so much protein. You don't want to have too much protein because your body can only process so much, but you want to keep it, you know, so instead of having a big meal, nothing, big meal, nothing, big meal, you're having, you know, a small meal, a snack, small meal, snack, small meal, and your body all day is working to process that and stuff. But what I noticed when they gave me how many carbs and how many proteins, that's where I realized that instead of what I started doing was I would take everything I ate and I would mark it all down, and I used the MyFitnessPal app on my iPhone. And then I would write in the diary, okay, I ate this many carbs for lunch and this much protein, and my numbers were always over what I should be doing. Then I realized, oh my God, it's so easy. So if say I have a big sandwich, instead of eating the whole sandwich and then marking down that that's what I ate and then I'm over, I check if I cut it in half. If I eat half a sandwich, am I over or under? And like weighing food. So instead of just eating what I want to eat and then marking it down, I've been kind of measuring and seeing like, oh, okay, so what I used when I figured this out, I mean, it seems simple, but it took me a while to just like for it to click. It was chili. So usually I would take 2 big scoops of chili, which is like a 4-ounce ladle, like a soup ladle. So that's like 8 ounces of chili, and then a 1 or 2 buns, you know, so what I did was 1 big bun. The buns are like this big. We like those big oven bottom buns. And 2 scoops of chili. That's what I would eat. So I did my carbs and protein, and then I realized, okay, well, let's just cut that in half. So I did, what if I ate 1 scoop of chili and half of a bun? And then I also measured out how many tortilla chips I could have. If I didn't have the bun, how many tortilla chips I could have. But then I chose the half a bun anyways. So I ate 1 scoop, so 4 ounces of chili and a half of a bun. And you know what? That was a proper portion. Like, I realized that I was just, even if I was eating healthy foods, I was still overeating. So now I'm really watching that, because how much do you need to sustain yourself? I don't want to starve myself. And I don't want to be skinny either. I just want to be healthy. But how much do you need to sustain yourself? And obviously I need the protein and the carbs because I work out. And how much are you still overeating? Because we live in a society where it's so easy to get food. It's so easy to have more, and, you know, and it tastes good. So I've been really watching that in the last few weeks. It's been about, I think, 13 days, 12 or 13 days maybe, that I've been doing this. You know, it's good. Actually, they have marathons every week on this. And so what happens is that you put in your weight every day, and whoever's losing the most weight wins that day. And then a lap. Yeah, no, a lap. So at the end of like 10 days, I think it is, and that's a lap of the marathon. So I didn't win every day of losing the most weight, but I did some days, and then overall that lap, I won that lap after 10 days. So I was really proud of that. So I lost over 9 pounds. However, I was kind of lucky because I was a bit over, like, what usually I'm around 12 stone, so that's like 168 pounds, and I was over that when I started 12 days ago or whatever, because I was on my period, and I don't know, I was just a little bit heavier because I fluctuate a little bit, 5 pounds here and there. So I think that's why I lost it. Now, obviously, again, it's not all about losing weight. So even though there's that marathon to, you know, the incentive, then that's fine. But a lot of people who are starting the program have a lot of weight to lose if they're new to the program, or that's why they're signing up. I don't have as much weight to lose. I still have some to lose, don't get me wrong. But my focus is, my focus is to lose the fat, keep the muscle. But I'm not going to beat myself up if I'm not losing the most out of the people who I'm competing with, because some of them have a lot more to lose, and aren't in as good of shape as I am, so they'll probably want, if they're doing what they need to be doing, working out at least 2 to 3 times a week and eating and watching what they're eating and everything, then it should come off of them quite quickly. So I'm happy that I won my first lap of the marathon, but I'm okay if I don't continue to win it. I'm still going to take it seriously, and I'm still going to really pay attention to what I'm eating. Yeah, it's hard, but it depends on how bad you want something, and I'm not going to like totally torture myself. So you can still eat a lot of good things, but the thing is, like, even if I wanted, say, a piece of chocolate cake, how much do I want the chocolate cake? If I want a piece of chocolate cake, is it better to have a little smidgy piece or none at all? You can have a little smidgy piece, but you got to balance it in with everything else. And another thing we need to do, and this is mindfulness as well, be grateful that we have food available to us and enjoy what you have. So instead of just wolfing down a big piece of chocolate cake, take bites of it and savor each bite and be like, this is good. This is my reward. I'm blessed to have this. This is, you know, this is a great thing. So yeah, I've tried to do that and be mindful, not just of what I'm eating, but to enjoy what I'm eating. So, and I like my eggs that I make. I call them healthy scrambled eggs. And I just, right now with me and Steve, so I'll make, it's 6 eggs, but actually it's only 2 egg yolks. And I'll use the rest, I'll do the whites, and you know, where you take crack the egg and use the half shells. You just dump like this until all the white goes in your bowl and you're just left with the yolk in the half a shell. And I give the egg yolks to the dog. And so yeah, 6 eggs, but 4 of them are just the whites. 2 of them have the yolk. And then I whip that up with a bit of milk. But in the meantime, I'm cooking bacon that I've chopped up into little pieces. Only 2 pieces of bacon. And tomato, and onion and mushroom. And if you aren't cooking for Steve, then you can add peppers to it if you want, but he's allergic, so I don't put peppers in. But yeah, every morning I make his before he goes to work, and I eat mine later because I can't eat it at the same time that I wake up, because that's when I have my shake and everything anyway. So 2.5 hours. Okay, so eggs, bacon, tomato, onion, mushroom, and spinach. So I fry that stuff up. When I say fry, I mean I'm using a frying pan, but there's enough grease and the little bit of bacon that I put in that I don't need to add any oil or anything. If I did, it would be olive oil, or sometimes I use a little bit of water when I cook things just so they don't stick. But and then when that's done cooking and I'm ready to put in the eggs, then I also add the spinach, and I just make like scrambled eggs, and it's really yummy. And then I make Steve a tuna salad for lunch, so I've been making that for myself too. It's just a small tossed salad, and then 1 can of tuna with a little bit of mayo in it, and light mayo, and then yeah, that's his lunch. And I've been adding, for his lunch, I've been adding like strawberries, grapes, and blueberries. I'm allergic to strawberries, but or I put banana and just a little bit of cheese in there for him, so he has a good lunch. And then we make our suppers, and we usually eat about the same things, just not the same. Like I said, I've been really portioning mine. You know, me and him shouldn't be eating the same amounts anyways, so lots of people said lots of things. Good for you. Are you allergic to any nuts? Yes. Smiggy pieces, fine. Yes, sometimes you gotta have the piece of cake, especially if it's a birthday or something. But it means more when it's a reward or when you haven't had it in a long time. Melody says I would just buy egg whites in a carton and add to my 1 or 2 eggs. And Erin says I've been using more coconut oil in cooking and baking. I love coconut oil and I love coconut milk, but coconut can be quite fat too. But it's a matter of just how much of what you're eating and everything else. So yeah, I love coconut milk and coconut oil. And Erin says applesauce in place of oil. Oh, I didn't. Applesauce in place of oil. But I don't know if the applesauce will keep you from sticking to the pan. Melody, I know that you can get egg whites in a carton, and that can work too. And there was something else somebody said. Oh, Tina, I'm allergic to almonds and hazelnuts. And Melody says I use a lot of olive oil. Yes, I have olive oil that I use too if I do need any oil for things. Applesauce I can have as long as it's cooked properly, which reminds me of another dish that I use as a dessert for if you want something for a nice dessert but you're not wanting the carbs. So apple pie, yummy. But you can take, or if you have apples to use up that need to be used up, you know, skin your apples. I'm doing it like as if I'm, okay, so skin your apples, cut them up, put them in a bowl, and add a little bit of margarine or olive spread or whatever you use as your butter, margarine, olive spread, and a couple sweeteners. That's me clicking the thing for the sweeteners to fall out. And I put it in the microwave and cook it up. And it's so, oh, and cinnamon. And so apples, cinnamon, couple sweeteners, and a little bit of margarine. And I cook it in the microwave until it's like nice and, because I can't eat apples. Again, I can't eat apples raw because I'm allergic to them raw. So I have to make sure they're really cooked. But it is like a sweet, yummy dessert. It's like the inside of an apple pie without the crust. And it's quick and easy and it gets rid of your apples. I'm also going to tell you 2 more recipes that I have mentioned probably before, but they are some of my favorites when I'm really watching what I'm eating, but I want something sweet. Erin says applesauce more in the baking instead of the oil. Good idea. And so my other 2 things, and like I said, I might have told you these before, but if you want smoothies, and you want them really thick, but you don't want to add ice cream and stuff, then a really great thing if you like bananas is frozen bananas. So peel your bananas. When they're starting to go, you know, spotty, and if you're not going to eat them that way when they're soft, then peel them first. It's much easier to peel them before you freeze them. Break them into pieces and then freeze them. Then when you want to make your smoothie, I make mine in like a bullet. You know that magic bullet thing that it has like the cups that you can blend in. So a couple pieces of banana, milk, and one of them that I like is just cinnamon. Cinnamon, milk, and banana, blend it up, and that's it. It's so yummy. And then the other one that I do is banana, milk, and like 1 drop of mint extract, because if you put too much it tastes like toothpaste, and a little bit of cocoa, so cocoa powder without the sugar. The other thing with cocoa is that I can't eat a lot of chocolate because I'm allergic to soy, and a lot of chocolate bars and stuff use soy lecithin in it to make it run smoother. So this way I can have cocoa. I just can't, you know, I know the soy's not in there. But it makes like a yummy mint chocolate smoothie with no ice cream, no sugar, except, you know, what's in the banana. And it's so yummy. So there's some, my nose is tickled. I have hay fever, so that's why my nose is running and itchy eyes and all that. So it's, you know, allergy season. Isn't it fun to be a gardener who has hay fever? So what else? I don't know. Let me check, because I can do this now. Wow, I've been rambling for 42 minutes and I still haven't said anything relevant to anyone's life. Just kidding. You should add a handful of greens to your smoothies. Absolutely, good idea. And when you wrote that, Melody, what you also made me think of is something that we used to have as a treat a long time ago. Well, for me, it's a long time ago because I haven't made them in a while. And I think I'm going to do that, especially on hot days. What's a really yummy snack? Frozen grapes. If you haven't tried it, I really suggest trying it. Freeze some seedless grapes. And so you've seen when some people have like their wine glass or champagne, and then they'll throw a few frozen grapes in so it keeps it cold. And you can eat the grapes once they thaw. But even eating the frozen grapes on their own is like a yummy treat on a hot day. Mel, it's a great idea. I'll try that too with the spinach. I eat a lot of spinach anyways. We put it in our eggs. When I said about the tuna salad for Steve's lunch, I cut up lettuce, iceberg lettuce, and spinach for it. And even like when we had Subway today, we had lettuce and spinach on our... Also something for Subway, if you haven't done this already, is that when we go and get our Subway, and a lot of Subways, especially here, they've never heard of it before, so they don't understand. But I usually do this with my 2 fingers to show them. Once they cut open your bun, to just roll their fingers like this, and they can scoop out the inside of the bread. less bread is less carbs. Less carbs, because carbs turn to sugar in your body, which is why bread and carbs and everything will hold weight on unless you're burning it off, doing a lot of sports or physical activity. So less bread is less carbs is less sugar is less fat, because the excess sugar in your body turns to fat. So get your bread scooped out, and then you have more room for veggies. Also, it toasts nicer when they toast it. And for me, when I eat a tuna sub from Subway, I get them to toast the bun before they add the tuna, because I don't like warm tuna. So then my bun is nice and toasty. And yes, that is just something else that helps you. So a little bit less bread or carbs. Melody says she loves grapes, grabbing a handful in a bowl for a snack in the evening. And frozen grapes are the best. Erin says love frozen grapes, and Kathy says frozen grapes. Neat. So she hasn't tried it, but I think you'll enjoy it. So Kathy, if you have a chance this week or in the next couple weeks, try frozen grapes and then let us know on another live what you thought of it. Frozen grape snack. Yes, so we usually have grapes in the fridge, and Aurora will eat a whole thing of grapes if you let her. And Erica has come up with this new thing about eating broccoli. She'll eat a whole head of raw broccoli if you let her. So, and then strawberries, they'll eat all of those too, but I keep telling them they're for lunches, so they can have some if they have them in their lunch. Kathy said, definitely good for me right now. Yes, because you need to eat healthy. Right, Kathy, we talked about that 2 weeks ago with your diagnosis. And as well, Melody was my guest 2 weeks ago. And I'm happy to say that Melody has her surgery date for May 21st. And then they'll do the biopsy after they remove it to see anything else of that. So, but so far everything's on track, and she's having her surgery on May 21st. And Melody is a worrier. So first of all, try not to worry, Mel. And other than that, can everybody who's watching this please send positive healing energy to Kathy and Melody for what they're going through right now. Cancer sucks, and so does any health issues. So sending, love and healing to both of you. Kathy says, oh, great, Melody, so that you have a surgery date set. And yeah. Welcome, Kathy. Thinking about you even during the week when I'm not on my live. So, and I did notice that you were one of the ones that was sad last week when I wasn't, when I said that I canceled my live for the week. So, is there anything else you guys want to talk about before I go for the day? Is there anything else you'd like to see me do on my lives? It's dark out right now, which tells me that it's still not time to do it, but maybe in a few more weeks I'll be able to do my lives from out in the garden. I do know last year when I did my lives, and we talked about the garden, then I did those, it was on my birthday, so October 21st, and I did garden tours. Like, I did a little quick tour of each part of the garden on my birthday videos. So, but yeah, obviously different things are blooming at different times in the garden. And I was looking back, I think I told you guys this too, see, I just talked too much, but I was looking back at pictures from in the summertime of our garden, and I can't believe how big things get when they're in full growth and everything else. And I'm just like, wow, we have a lot of plants in our garden, and it looks lush and great. Like, when I look back at the pictures, it doesn't even seem like my garden. Like, I'm like, this looks great. I want to be in this garden. And when you're doing it, it's again stopping and taking a look around, instead of imagine that you were knitting or crocheting like a blanket, and you just kept going. You're always focused on the stitches you're doing and stitches you're doing and stitches you're doing, and you're doing those stitches good, but you don't realize that you've already done 2 miles or 2 kilometers of a blanket. Like, you need to stop and look at your progress too, not just focus on doing more. So I need to do that in the garden too. Instead of always like, oh, this needs to be done and I got to work on that plant in this section and everything else, I need to just stop and look. And actually, one of the things I wrote in my journal today that I was grateful for was that we're able to take photos so easily now, and that we can look back at them, and that it only costs money if you're printing prints of your photos. But how amazing is it that I can go and look back at my garden in full color last year, or, you know, these summer months and all those things, and then from 3 years ago, or imagine those, you know, all those people who gardened back before, when there was black and white film, or when there wasn't, and they had to, no wonder, I mean, I'd probably be more of a painter or sketch, you know, drawing out the colors and like, or just having those memories in your head. I'm so super grateful that I can take photos of my garden and look back at them. And Kathy said, super amazing. So, I'm happy that I did my workout earlier today, and I know, again, that's something I'm grateful for. When the earlier I do my workout, the better my days are, because I feel like I've already accomplished that, so anything else I have to do in the day is, you know, second fiddle, like as long as I've done my workout. Not everybody has the option to work out really early, but yes, as it's Sunday, even though it was really nice outside, I'm glad I did my workout early in the afternoon, because now when this live is over, I can just go and, well, I haven't eaten supper yet, so I'm going to eat supper, which is chicken breast and sweet potato and salad, tossed salad. So I'm going to have that, but I also get to just chill with my husband and not worry about working out or doing anything after this, even though it'll only be 9 o'clock when I'm done. It just is a quiet evening. I've already done the kids' laundry for school. It's in the dryer, so I'll make it nice. I'm not ironing it, but I'll take it out and not fold it, but lie it nice on the dryer for them. And yeah, it's a school day tomorrow, so I am happy to have been back for my live. Oh, sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just checking. Oh, I still have 10 minutes. So I don't know what I'm talking about. I have 10 minutes and I will keep rambling. I don't know why or how it's not my lighting that you guys see, but it's, oh, I didn't know I could do that. Did you guys just, when I zoomed in, did you guys see the zoom in too? Am I still zoomed in too much? That's cool. But, yeah, like, it's really, dull right now, so it's hard, like, it can get brighter, but I don't know how to make what I'm seeing brighter. And Erin says, I love to look back on photos of now that it is also easier to record videos, be them short or long clips. My kids always pull out the photo albums, or we check out the digital files on the computer or have them shown on the TV. Yeah, absolutely, Erin. That's what I'm talking about. And Melody says, yes, we've seen the zoom. Oh, that's cool. So I didn't even know I could do that. Anything else you guys want to know for the week? I'll let you know if I come up with any recipes or do anything interesting in the kitchen. I'm not doing a whole bunch of anything interesting. I'm just trying to figure out and stick to these and learning about this. I mean, I know how to eat healthy and I understand portion sizes, but I've never kept track of carbs and protein and stuff like that before. Steve has, but I've never done it. And so this last almost 2 weeks is my first time ever really paying attention to carbs and proteins for myself. So we'll see how that works out. And Melody says she'll send me some smoothie recipes, which is awesome. Just remember that I'm allergic to lots of fruits and vegetables raw, so that's annoying. But, like, say I wanted well, I don't know if I want apple in my smoothie, but if I wanted apple in or strawberry smoothies, what I could do is I could take the strawberries and I could cook them, and then I could cool them or freeze them, and then I can use them that way. So that's something I could even actually, if I cook the strawberries to like a saucy paste or whatever, I could put them into ice cube tray and then pop them out, and then I'll have them still like a size that will fit into my cup for smoothies, and I can have strawberry smoothies. That's a good idea, Lisa. I think I'm gonna do that. So, I mean, I love tropical fruits like mango and papaya and like, oh, even the smell of like a tropical fruit juice. Pineapple, but again, I'm allergic to all those things. But now if I cook them, yes, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try cooking some pineapple and some mango and some strawberries, and then freezing them in ice cube form and see if that works for my smoothies. That'll make me very happy. And Kathy says, I use apple in smoothies and add hemp protein. And actually, yes, now that you say it, Kathy, when I worked at Booster Juice, we did have apples that we could add to smoothies as well. So hemp protein, good. And there's lots of different proteins and different things that you can have for if you're lacking. I've been also taking vitamin D. But I've been doing drops with vitamin D. Tina, that might be something you want to look at too, but it's just a drop, and you open it, it's a dropper, and I just drop 1 drop in my mouth a day. So if that's making a difference, I like to think it is. I haven't been using my sad lamp, but I've been also being outside and the sun's shining, so I'm making sure that I'm getting enough sun. Ooh, and this is something that I haven't done yet, but I learned about. And so one source of vitamin D is mushrooms, and if you leave your mushrooms outside for even an hour, it, like, I can't remember how many times, I have to look it up again, but it increases the vitamin D in the mushrooms. So put the mushrooms out in the sun for however long before, you have to look it up, or I'll try and find something again and post it on here, but put the mushrooms outside in the sun before you use them, and you increase the vitamin D in them, and then so your vitamin D intake, which is amazing, especially if you suffer from depression or sad in the winter months, seasonal affective disorder, especially in Canada, because think about it, if you put the mushrooms on your window ledge in the house where the sun's shining in Canada, you still get a lot of sun in the winter time, even though it's freezing outside, whereas here in the winter time it's rainy and usually cloudy, and we actually, this last winter we did get quite a bit of sun, so I was grateful for that. But you still can get sun in the wintertime, and then you can put your mushrooms in the window ledge, get them in the sun, increase the vitamin D, and that'll be really good for you, everybody. Anything else? I'm gonna grab my drink. Everybody in the family is doing well. Nothing to report. Yeah, nothing. I think, I can't remember if it was after, like, since, I think it was within this last 2 weeks that I found out about an older lady friend of mine who passed away. Her name was Margaret Rose. She was 74, which is still a good age. She fought cancer for, I think, 14 years. I posted about her, but she was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. And at first she did go through treatments and stuff, but it turned to stage 4 cancer, and then she stopped doing her treatments, but she still survived like 10 years after that. So I think it was 14 years altogether with cancer. So she fought the odds. She had a really, really great life. And, okay, actually this is the story, and this is how I'll end this live. Now, those of you who have known me my whole life might know that I've always had a little bit of an obsession with death. Not in a, like, I want to kill people kind of way, but in a way that I've had my funeral planned since I was a kid, and I've wanted to work in palliative care and just be there with people when they die, because I had this, like, sadness for thinking about people being alone when they die. Death can be a beautiful thing, especially if you believe in an afterlife and you know that they're going on a journey. When my father passed away, I was on video chat like this, but I got to see him lying in the hospital bed. I saw my family sitting around. I could hear the nurses and doctors. It was like I was there. And we were all quiet. And I said that Dad's probably thinking that in heaven, like, this is the quietest the McDermotts have ever been. But we were just there. We were just there with him. And it was beautiful in that way, that the family was there when somebody needed us. And I know right now with COVID and everything, we can't always be in the hospital with our loved ones when they're passing away. But this is a beautiful story of my friend Margaret Rosen and how her death was. So, I didn't know, but she had I think it's called a MAID. It's like a medical, something induced death. So, like, it's basically, euthanasia. And she had this in place for a year, and so it meant that at any time that she felt that her cancer and her health and everything, the deterioration was really poor, she could choose to end her life with assistance in the hospital. So it finally got to a point, she had lost a lot of weight, she wasn't able to eat. This is such a, okay, I had written my phone, like my phone number and stuff in letters and stuff that me and Margaret Rose wrote back and forth to each other. She lived in Saskatchewan. And I just made sure that my phone number is always there for whoever was to take care of all her stuff when she passed away. Because I knew that it could be a long time, it could be any time, because she was living with stage 4 cancer for so long. And it worked out the way that I thought. The letter that I wrote and a card that was sitting up on the ledge in her living room. The lady who was taking care of her and everything she needed found the letter. And contacted me and let me know that April 1st, April Fool's Day, that would be Margaret Rose. She would choose that day. The day before, she decided that it was time and that they needed to take her to the hospital. So this lady, RHwL, and her husband, Greg, or boyfriend, they live across the street, and they'd only lived there for about a year. Well, when they moved in, they met Margaret Rose, and until Margaret Rose passed away, it was about a year that they knew each other. But they became instant friends, and Margaret Rose just has that type of energy about her, and she just is, we call her our angel, Margaret Rose, and she just is an inspiration to know. So, RHwL and Greg ended up doing a lot of things for Margaret Rose. They would make her meals and make sure she was taken care of, and they did everything that she needed in her last year. Now, as grateful as I am that they were there for her, that I found out that Margaret Rose, who doesn't have a lot of friends and family, she meets people along the way, you know, like me and like them, and she just inspires, but she has, you know, she just, so it was so grateful for me to know that they were there to take care of her. But I know, because I know Margaret Rose, that was a two-way street, that them being there to take care of Margaret Rose was beneficial to them too, because they got to know an amazing lady. And it was that way. So me and RHwL actually talked on video chat for her to tell me everything, and she's the one who told me about how Margaret Rose passed away. And I wasn't sad. Obviously I'm sad for us, but I'm blessed to have known her. And there's another story of a beautiful death that I'll tell you guys about next week. But this is one of those, if there's such thing as a beautiful death, this is one. So, the end of March 31st, it was time. Margaret Rose told RHwL that it was time for her to take her to the hospital. They went to the hospital, they talked to the doctor, and it was set for 8 a.m. the next morning. And Margaret Rose told RHwL that they could go home, but don't be late for tomorrow at 8 a.m. So they were there on time. Margaret Rose was lying in her bed, and everything was getting ready. And I can just see her doing this, but RHwL said she tucked herself in, and she said, "This isn't the end. I'm just going somewhere else. There's work to be done." So she was just going to the next plane, and she was going to keep working. She was going to make sure that everything there is tippity-top and in shape, and that people there are doing what they need to be doing. So she was ready to take her her next step in this lifetime. The doctor came in. It started to be a few minutes after 8, and he apologized because Margaret Rose had served in the military, and he said, "I know you're a military woman. I am sorry that we are late. It is past 800 hours, and we'll be doing this as soon as we can." So when he administered it, RHwL was holding Margaret Rose's hands, and Greg was there too, and the sun was shining on her. And just like when you put an animal to sleep, the first one they administer helps you go to sleep, and then the second one they administer is the one that helps you pass away, but you're already sleeping. And it is just so, I don't know what the word is to express how, like I said, a beautiful death, if there can be such a thing. That, I mean, that, like, with the sun shining on her, having someone who is, and RHwL said she was just giving her all her love, and holding her hand, and just passing away peacefully, and knowing that you made that choice. And it's just, it was such a happy thing for RHwL to share with me, and I'm so glad that Margaret Rose had a great life and a great death. and it's beautiful. And it just, yeah, so deaths can be beautiful, and there's, you know, things that we can take away from having that. And like I said, we can't always be with our loved ones when they pass away, especially right now in COVID, but we can only hope that, yes, Mom, as you wrote, peaceful, that we can have a nice death like that. And I think that will be the end of this. It's not trying to take it on a morbid thing, but with COVID and everything that's going on in the world right now, a lot of us, whether we've had to in the past or not, are having to come to a realization that death is inevitable, and whether it's people being at our funeral or we're going to have to be at theirs and the loved ones around us, that we're all going to have to deal with death. It's just a matter of how you deal with it and what you see in it. So I'm just going to make sure I didn't miss any comments. Melody said, I am trying to drink more sparkling waters, though I still find them gross. They are starting to taste okay. Tina found a good root beer sparkling water. That's really cool, Mel. And Mom Marie said, I was thinking about her, which is Margaret Rose, and then said, peaceful. Kathy said, yes, there is such a thing as a beautiful death. Happy for her and all who loved her. Thanks for sharing. And Melody, with sparkling water, you can just drink water as well. And as you guys know, I like, and Melody, I think you're the one who taught me this about cucumber lemon water. So slicing up a couple slices of cucumber, a couple slices of lemon in your water. You can put some mint in and such. So a little bit of ginger, whatever you like to flavor your water. But if you, I don't like sparkling water, but I am trying to increase my water intake as well and reduce my pop intake. I'm glad that you enjoyed the beautiful death story. And yes, Kathy, that's what I thought. And when you said thanks for sharing, that is how I was so grateful for Rochelle to be there for Margaret Rose. And I was grateful for her to phone me, contact me, and let me know not only that Margaret Rose passed away, but to share such a beautiful thing with me. I'm blessed to have known that that's how her death was, and me dying in the sunshine, like, that is the way to go. That's what I have to say. But I love you guys. I will see you next week. I hope you enjoyed the rambling hour, and I might have a guest next week. I might not. I don't even know. So I love you guys. If you're wondering where Samantha is, she has a new job and she's working tonight. It was her first shift. It's some type of care. I can't remember exactly what kind of care she's doing, but I'll let you guys know next week when I check with her. But yes, so you guys have a great week as well. And I hope everybody, you know, has a great sleep tonight. Lots of energy. Send love and healing to those in need, like Melody and Kathy. And both of you guys, don't worry too much, because worrying won't change the outcome. But if it does, it'll only make it more negative because you're worrying. So try not to worry. Breathe. Everything will always be okay. And I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye.